Yo, what up, YouTube? My name is Walker, and I'm going to show you 5 tips that you need to really improve in Cold War. Let's get started. Alright, guys, so the first skill that you need in order to improve is confidence. And yes, confidence is a skill. Alright, now how do we go about building confidence? It's very easy. What you're going to do is you're going to pick a task to do that you can drill on a daily basis until you get to a point where you know that you can do that drill without hesitation. That's basically how you build confidence. Now, to expand upon that idea, let's say you're a sniper. If you don't have confidence in sniping, you're probably gonna not snipe good in public games. So the idea of drilling your sniping or drilling your AR game or whatever you're rushing, your movement is going to help you build confidence in yourself. That way when you need to perform those acts, you have the confidence and the belief that you can do that. Alright guys, here's an example of how I build confidence in my sniper shot. I go into custom games against recruit bots and I'm aiming only for headshots. Now, what this does for me is help me get better at one, practicing my headshots, but two, I feel more confident to hit a bigger target if I'm always focused on a smaller target. It's pretty simple. You can do this with any gun. I really recommend, I'm gonna switch the gun real quick. I really recommend doing this just to build confidence in your shot. And obviously you want confidence in your shot. I'm gonna let this bot kill me real quick. Alright, so we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna run around with this AK class setup. This is actually a really dirty AK. And we're just gonna aim for headshots. You know, why aim for just the chest when you can get good at aiming for the head and then the chest will feel easy? You know what I mean? Build confidence. Just drill it, drill it, drill it. I do this for about 20 minutes a day. And then also use it as my warm-up. So it's my training and my warm-up at the same time. Alright? Alright, now that we got confidence out the way, we're going to talk about the second skill you need. That second skill is centering. Now, there are two parts to centering. The first one is using the middle of your screen and placing it where you think enemies will be. The second one, which is more important, but it builds upon the first one, is that you need to always be looking at the center of your screen. If you're looking anywhere around the screen besides the center of your screen and the map, you're wasting time. If your eyes are always on the center of the screen and you flick your stick to look in the direction that you want to look at instead of using your eyes to look there, your reaction time is going to be faster because you have less time adjusting and more time focused on aiming or reacting. Okay? Alright guys, now expanding upon centering, I'm going to show you examples of how to use your centering. And I do think the two best ways of training your centering is with a shotgun or a hip-fire submachine gun. Okay, so the idea of centering is that you always want to have the center of your crosshairs, which is that little dot on the screen, on areas where you think enemies are going to come. Alright, that's the basic idea of it. You want to work on moving around the map just like this. It doesn't have to be as robotic. You know, you can run around and sprint and whatnot. You know, I'll just always have the idea that wherever you put your center of the screen, there's gonna be an enemy there, Okay. Alright, that's the first basic idea of centering. The second one is where you're looking on the screen at all times. Okay. Now, in my belief, you should always be looking at the center of your screen and use that center of your screen as if it was your eyeball. So if I'm standing right here and I needed to look up, I won't use my eyes to look up. Okay, I'll use the center of the screen. I'm staring at the center of the screen and I use my thumbstick to control it. It's almost as if the center of your screen was your eyeball and your thumb is how you control the eyeball. Okay, this is a more philosophical way of looking into centering, but I believe that when you're doing this, you have a quicker reaction time to if somebody shoots you, you're gonna turn and you're always looking there. As soon as your crosshairs get on them, you're gonna hit them, okay? Just like that. I'm always watching the center of my screen. The only time I take my eyes off is if I have to look at the map. By the way, when you're playing games, you should always be looking at the map. Every second of breathing time you got, just look at the map, okay? There you go. That's centering. The third skill, or skills as I should say, would be mindfulness, intention, and decision making. Now these are going to be pretty complex. However, the basic ideas of it is for mindfulness, you need to be aware of how you're going about traversing your map when you're reloading, that's having mindfulness of when you're reloading. When you're sprinting around a corner, you got to have mindfulness of why you're sprinting around the corner. Is it safe? And then intention is like almost, it's basically the same thing. You're gonna have to do things with attention. So like if you just start a game, you're playing search and destroy, the match just begins. Are you gonna run it down mid? Is that your intention? Are you trying to gather some information? What's your intention when you're doing something around the map in the game? Or here's another thing, what's your intention when you're practicing? If you're going into bots and just shooting bots, are you focused on how you're shooting the bots? What's your intention? Are you trying to improve your aim, your reaction time, your flick? You got to have intention. And then the last part, decision making. This is more practice in game, but you need to really start focusing on why you're doing things around the map. I know I kind of said this already, but when you're doing things around the map, you need to really have a thought process of, why am I doing this? Is it the best idea to do this? Is this my best decision? Can I do something more important? Is it safe, etc., etc.? You get the point. When you play games, just constantly think about this, and you got to be in there. Also, along with mindfulness, intention, and decision making, you got to learn how to turn off autopilot. A lot of times people, when they play Call of Duty, they just run around everywhere without thinking. Get out of the habit of that. You really got to focus to improve. If you don't focus on everything that you're doing, you're gonna have weaknesses in your game. So you can be really good at something and really bad at something else because you didn't give that attention. Focus on your weak points and your strengths. Make them one. Alright, now with mindfulness training, okay, this is gonna be better displayed in a public match or something, with the bots or whatever. But basically, you're gonna be starting to think about how you're moving around the map. So let's say this area in the beginning of the game. If you run here and you go like this and you try to shoot, chances are someone who's walking around the corner like this is going to get their shot off before you shooting. I have sprint to fire time on the shotgun, so it does sprint and shoot pretty fast. But if you don't notice that delay right here, check it out. That took really long, okay? But if you're sprinting here and then you walk, that's mindfulness of where you're running. And then right here, let's say I killed somebody here, and then you reload here. Is this the safest place to reload, or should you switch to your weapon first? Okay, that's mindfulness right there. Intention goes with mindfulness. What are your intentions when you're peeking this corner? Are you gonna clear it and then push? You're gonna clear here, check here. All right, get the spawn trap right here. You gotta have intention with all your movements. When you're sprinting, when you're inspecting the area, you're walking. What's your intention? Are you trying to catch enemies off guard? Nuketown is a really good map for this because you have to do a lot of decision making on such a small map at such a high pace. I do recommend going on Nuketown 24/7 and just start thinking about what you're doing and why you're doing it. If you're gonna run across here, are you gonna think about the people who peek this little area? If you're gonna run right here, you kill someone here. What about this area? Can you take cover here? Can you take cover here? The fourth skill that you need to improve in your Call of Duty gameplay is your movement. This is basically making sure that you have efficient movement throughout the map, that you're not running into things, or you're not struggling to mantle over things, or you're choosing really good routes. You knowing when to slide, when to jump shot, when to slide shot, when to double slide. You got to use these to your advantage, and you got to also learn to make yourself a harder target to hit. That means moving from cover to cover, and also making yourself a harder target by moving laterally. And I'm going to show you a bunch of ways to do that in game in a bit.
For all.
Continuing with movement, to simplify, you want to have efficient movement. You never want to be running into things. If you're going to be traversing the map, you want to make sure that you can move efficiently. Take cover. Let's take this for example. There's an enemy here, and you're here, right? Okay, the enemy's gonna shoot at you. You turn this corner. All right. Most people will probably do this. Okay. You want to try to go like this. Okay. Make it yourself a hard target. Someone shooting you in the back. Have that efficient movement. A good way to practice this also is to learn to get good with a knife, because you got to learn how to take cover. You got to learn how to use your surroundings. Okay. I'm gonna show you a couple of movements that can help you in the game as well. The first one is going to be the slide cancel. This is not really for challenging opponents. It's more for distance trying to get places faster, all you're gonna do is you're gonna sprint, you're gonna slide, slide, and jump. Sprint, slide, slide, jump, sprint, slide, slide, jump. This is really to reset that initial sprint because the initial sprint has a little boost in it if you didn't know. So initial sprint, slide, slide, jump. Okay, just like that. I really don't recommend doing this all the time because it's noisy as well. Alright, the second one is gonna be the slide. I'll call it the slide shot just to make it simple. This is for challenging enemies on corners and head glitches. So let's say we have an enemy right here, alright, and we know he's there. You're gonna slide here, aim, and then press jump, okay? Once again, slide, aim, jump, okay? Slide, aim, jump, light them up, alright? The second one is gonna be almost the same. This is gonna be the slide jump, and there's a reason why I called it the slide jump and not the jump shot, okay? So you're gonna do the same thing, slide, and you're gonna jump. I do recommend jumping before you get out the corner or get out the line of sight, okay? So I'm gonna show you the wrong way to do it right now. Okay, that's the wrong way to do it, and this is gonna be the right way to do it. But compared to the slide shot, which is this, the slide jump is gonna be less efficient because it makes you inaccurate, alright? Now the last movement thing I'm gonna show you is gonna be the double slide, and you're gonna really use this to gain distance on your enemies. These are really good in the beginning of matches for like search and destroy, okay? So let's say I spawned up here, enemy spawned in the opposite end, and enemy went like this and jumped out, okay, like that, alright? This is where he landed. I took a forward step, okay? Let's mark this area real quick, okay? That's where we landed, alright? Now, if I do the same thing, but I do the double slide, I crashed, but look how much further I got. That's distance traveled, okay? This is very efficient. You can do it on areas where you slide off. So right here, let's see if I can do this first try. I'm gonna run, jump, slide, slide. I didn't get it, okay? Run, jump, slide, slide. Okay, you see how much distance I just traveled? Right, let's try it again, but let me just slide. Let me just do a regular slide, just one slide. Okay, that's one slide, okay? One slide. When I double slide, I got over here. That distance matters if you're rushing, okay? Do it again. Look how much further I got. Alright, that's the double slide. Get good at this. Also, another thing, this kind of goes in with movement. A lot of times if you're challenging an enemy head to head and you have your scope on them like this, it's a good idea to use that jump shot. Drop shots I don't recommend unless you have that drop shot wrap that lets you drop like this. Alright, but let's say you turn a corner like this, okay, and you and him are facing each other, you're shooting, just throw a little jump in there, okay? If they don't jump, you get a headshot, and that headshot multiplier matters. That's enough for movement. Alright, the last skill that you need in order to improve is to work on your map awareness and to learn to pay attention to the kill feed. Kill feed is really important in games like Search and Destroy or Control, where it really matters when you die, you know what I mean? But map awareness, I was saying earlier, when you're centering, the only two places you should look in the map is in the center of your screen or the map. Yeah, you get what I mean. Anyway, so basically you need to have an idea of where your teammates are always going. Look for open areas of the map where you can possibly get flanked, and then look for areas where you can probably catch somebody off and then get the flank on your enemies. That's kind of going to be the basis of map awareness. If you start paying more attention to that while you're playing, just looking at the map, trying to get some information, it's going to really give you an advantage over your enemies. And who doesn't like an advantage? All right, now the last thing, the kill feed. The reason why kill feed is important is if you're paying attention to your teammates, say in a search and destroy match, and you know said teammate went said direction and you didn't see them on the map because maybe they were too far, you'll know that your teammate in that direction died, so that place is probably going to be very unsafe. And that goes along with hardcore. If you play hardcore, it helps with that too. But overall, you're always going to be paying attention to the map. The map is going to be your number one information source. It's the key. Alright guys, so lastly we're going to talk about map awareness. Basically, to keep it really simple, the map right here, everyone knows what it is. You can use it. If you don't have forward intel, which is a perk by the way, that makes your map bigger for those of you who like to look at the map. Anyway, alright, so I'm on this side of the map. Okay? Yeah, let's say I'm playing free for all. This means that anywhere I look this way, that way, and that way, they're all potential areas where I can die, okay? Now, if I'm in this area, alright, looking at the map, it's going to be the same thing. This whole vicinity right here, I'm able to die. Let's say I had teammates, okay? Let's say I had teammates on this side of the map right here, and I can see them on the map, alright? If I had teammates there on the map, that means this area is going to be vulnerable to attack, alright? That's a very simple way to explain it. Basically, where you're not, basically where you are and where your teammates are, the enemies are going to be on that side. And then pay attention to where your teammates die on the map. Usually you'll see their cursor disappear, you'll see a skull, and you'll see their name on the kill feed. If you know where your teammates die, then you know where a potential enemy can be, and that'll save your life because you'll be prepared from that direction. Alright? It's a game of information. If you made it to the end of this video, I just want to say thank you for tuning in, and if this video helped you in any way or you learned something new, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions about the video or recommendations for future videos, go ahead and drop a comment. I'll be sure to check them out. Lastly, I do stream on Twitch nightly. We're currently working on Dark Matter. If you want to see how I do that, or you just want to come by and chat, feel free to stop by at twitch.tv/realwalker. The link is going to be in the description. Without further ado, I just want to say thank you guys once again, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace!